what is this? This is absolutely not what we talked about. I don't even, like, it's all wrong. The colors are wrong, the flow is wrong. This is absolutely not what we talked about. How much time did you waste working on this garbage? We can't use this. That was Becky. One of my colleagues many years ago when I was early in my career. You know what, Becky? If you have no idea how much work goes into producing something like this, this is exactly what you asked for in your communication. It is not my fault that you didn't provide specific details. It is not my fault that you are incompetent about the process that it takes for me to create something like this. You know what, Becky? Do it yourself! That's what I wanted to say. And you all know this, right? You all work in professions where you serve people, where you have to get work done with people, and often that means doing it under pressure. And what happens oftentimes is we are in these tense interpersonal situations, and some of us want to fight, some of us want to freeze, some of us want to run and get the manager or maybe HR involved. But those are not the only three options. And it's not the option that I chose to use with Becky that day. Instead, I took a deep breath and I said, Becky, I think that we both want to get this right. And it seems like we're not on the same page about what the outcome needs to be. I'd really like it if we could take 5 or 10 minutes to go through our notes and then come back together and walk through and figure out what we need to do to get the outcome that we both know that we can get to together. Thank goodness that was the approach that I took, because years later, Becky became my boss. Our success, whether it's your personal success and in changing the circumstances of your life to follow your dream, or your professional success, it's not dependent on your IQ. IQ is what we measure when we're talking about your ability to take in information, process it, problem solve, and come up with solutions. Many of the tools and the technology that we have today, it really boosts our collective IQ. But one of the things that technology cannot replace is our EQ, our emotional intelligence, our ability to process not only what we're feeling, which is what many people think emotional intelligence is, that it's all about controlling our emotions. That's not the only thing emotional intelligence is. It's about processing our own emotions and being able to read the room, process the emotions of the people that are across the table from us, and then stay focused and motivated on the long-term outcome that we want from that relationship. Thank goodness I didn't respond to Becky the way I wanted to, because by the time she became my boss, we had built a professional relationship based on trust and collaboration. And our relationship continued to grow. And in the industries that we work in, where we are serving people all day, every day, and many of you are in positions where the majority of the people you serve are going through challenges and frustrations and have things going on in their life that we know nothing about. And I often talk to people who are struggling in their careers, and they come to me with this attitude of, I will set boundaries and I will not accept disrespect and I will hold my ground. Well, that's part of emotional intelligence. It's being able to take care of ourselves and advocate for what we need from people. But the other side of that is also about having empathy and compassion and approaching people with curiosity, so we can also help them get what they need. See, just because I need something in order to feel like I've won doesn't mean I need to take something from you. And it goes the other way. Just because you feel like you need something to win doesn't mean I need to sacrifice something. When we approach these high, intense, interpersonal conflict situations with curiosity, courage, and compassion, then we can do the work together with that person to find out what is it that they are seeking, what is it that I am seeking, and how can we talk things out and work together to come to an agreement where we all win. So emotional intelligence is the measure of our ability to understand our own emotions and the emotions of others, and to seek a mutually beneficial outcome for both. So how do we grow our emotional intelligence, right? It's one of the trickiest things, one of the trickiest questions that I get asked. And the very first thing that we have to do if we're really going to grow and harness emotional intelligence is we have to start having conversations with ourselves about our own emotions. Because here's the thing about emotions. Emotions, it's just chemical information. It's an automatic subconscious response that your body has to a circumstance based on some historical circumstance you may have had in the past. It's a chemical response that is just information. It's not about feeling bad about our emotions, trying to shove them aside and bury them or pretend that they don't exist. It's not about learning to feel like we're wrong for having those emotions, but it's about recognizing them and then asking ourselves, wow, I wonder where that's coming from. I wonder why that's the way I'm feeling in this moment. And then challenging ourselves to shift our mindset and our perspective to the outcomes we want. Rather than the ugly feelings we're having in the moment, we as human beings, and we're the only species that we know has this ability to disconnect and step outside of our subconscious emotions and think about our thinking. It's called metacognition, to be able to think about our thinking. And because we have the ability to do that, we have the ability to change our mind, to shift our mindset, and you say, you know what, I don't want to feel this way about this person. Instead, I'm going to choose to see the good in them. I'm going to choose to find the value that they bring, because, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that every single person in this universe brings value. Some people just don't know what that is, and they need kindness and compassion to bring it out. Once we've taken a moment to say, how do I want to think about this differently? It opens up a whole lot of choices in how we want to take action and how we want to move forward. And sometimes that might be setting a boundary. That might be saying, you know what, I really want to help you with this, but in order for me to do that, I need us to be respectful to one another. Can we make that agreement? So sometimes it's setting boundaries. Sometimes it's asking questions so that we can learn more about that person's experiences and perspectives and where they're coming from. And when we exercise our power of choice, then we can take ownership for the outcomes that we get. We can take ownership of the influence that we have over our long-term relationships with the people we come in contact with every day. And that is where our success is going to come from. It's not from our IQ. It's not from our ability to use technology. It's from our ability to be emotionally intelligent in the moment with the people that we come in contact with every day.